I'm Scott Blackmore, and I'm the president of the Blackmore Company. It's a family-owned business, and I have been here since the mid-'80s through college and full-time for 30 years. I've worked with my grandfather in the '80s and then been with my dad here full-time for just over 30 years. So we have been working with recycling our containers for about 10 years now. We tried it in the past, but it was always difficult logistically, getting our customers accustomed to how it needed to be packaged so you could make it economically feasible. Once this material started piling up at our customers, they started calling and asking if there's any help we could do. We worked together on how to prep the material, and just in the routing of the material, we've worked it out well where we're often taking people a load and bringing material back from them. So the material we use is HIPS polystyrene, and it is the only material we use in our thermoforming process. It is a forgiving material. We have our customers, we work with them on just separating that material so they can get the most value out of it. We work together on how we need it packaged to get, like if we're shipping back from the West Coast, we have to make sure the load is packed, concentrated, because you have a pretty long run. It could be thousands of dollars, but if the customers are diligent about separating, we can often get not only the freight covered, but get them a good price for the material they're sending back. And that's what we found to be the most effective way to make it economically sustainable and make it worthwhile for the customers to separate the materials. So once we clean up the material, we'll blend it with other post-industrial materials, which makes up approximately 90% of the material that we use is in one state or another, whether it be post-industrial or post-consumer, recycled materials. The other is virgin materials. When we have to do custom colors, we have to start with virgin material. Unless there's a market, like white material, we can often find there's a market for white food pack trim scrap packaging that we can do. But when it comes to the terracottas and the wave, we have to start with virgin material. So the most effective way to cycle any type of material is the separation. It gets the most value to the person using the material, but it also allows maybe even that value to come back to the customer. If they're using a polystyrene tray or a plug tray for their field crop or their greenhouse crop, typically the new transplanters, the trays are pretty clean, but having them nested and shrink wrapped properly and height-wise on a truck, you want to use the cube of the truck as much as possible. And of course, anytime you can separate materials, it allows people to really evaluate the value that's on that truck. So one of the big challenges with the recycling of plastics is the concentration of the materials. Like we mentioned, is you end up with propylene pots at the consumer level that end up in the waste stream. They don't get, there's different sizes, they may not separate it properly at the dumping station. So the best place to recycle is at the wholesale level, because you'll have the growers, you can get everyone's accustomed to how it needs to be packaged. You can create value for themselves, and logistically it's doable and economically sustainable, which is ultimately the only way things work is if it pays for itself. So what we're trying to do with air tray technology is create a solution for growers that they eliminate that single-use pot, and we're shipping out a degradable ElePot, different ways that we're looking at packaging that, and we're concentrating the one-time use plastic at the wholesale level where it's much easier to reclaim and find value in the product.